So what is going on, guys? It's Triple G here, back with another Suicide Squad video. In today's video, we're going to be looking at a Mastery 50 plus Boomerang build for you to build. It is pretty simple in terms of a gameplay mechanic, but it is very, very effective. So if you enjoy this video, please consider subscribing to the channel or join me over on stream, as I stream 6 times a week. And otherwise, let's get straight into this video. So this Boomerang's build is going to be using the tier 3 infamy set. So you're going to have to work your way through, but the game style and the game mechanic is pretty simple, and you can use this game style in order to get yourself up the leaderboards. Remember that you can get tier 3 drop as low as mastery level 30, so as soon as you start getting these items, you'll be able to start doing a heck ton of damage. So first of all, let's talk about the actual skill tree itself. Now the skill tree itself for Boomerang is pretty simplistic. It is all about either A, traversal damage, or B, a little bit of shield harvesting. So you feel free to pause the video here and take a screenshot. I'm not going to go into too much detail here because it is more about the gear than it is about the skill tree in Suicide Squad. So in terms of the loadout, the main primary weapon we're going to be using is the Stacked Deck Legendary. Now this is an incredibly powerful gun. It's probably one of the best guns in the game at the moment. This firearm's damage is reduced by 50%, but each successive hit on an enemy with this firearm causes it to take 15% more damage from all sources for 10 seconds up to a maximum of 750%. That means if you smash this enemy with the stacked gun, you either kill it with this or you can switch to something else and absolutely obliterate it. Now the second item is the pain machine. This is the tier 3 SMG, and as we break down the actual tier 3 set here as well, you can see that at the set piece 1 bonus, we're going to deal 4% more damage to an enemy for each 1% of the health that is missing. This is the main skill for this gear set, and it's incredibly powerful because the more that you wear an enemy down, the more damage you're going to do. The 2-piece bonus, critical hits on enemies below 50% health trigger Bane's Fury. This increases the damage by 50% and damage to crazed enemies by 50% for 60 seconds. Each stack of Bane's Fury also adds a 5% chance to cause the enemy to explode on death and craze enemies within 10 meters. Bane's Fury can stack up to 15 times. So that's a huge amount of damage. So what you're going to want to do when you're trying to get your build set going is pick on a really weak enemy and shotgun him to death. Now, with using a shotgun, each pellet counts as a successful critical hit, so you're going to get yourself up to 15 ranks very, very quickly. The third piece bonus is all enemies hit with a traversal attack become crazed, and each enemy killed while Bane's Fury is active generates 10% traversal attack resource. Killing an enemy with a traversal attack immediately gives you 5 stacks of Bane. So using your 3-piece, you are able to get everybody crazed, which is very, very useful for this build. And also, if you do get the kill, you'll give yourself some stacks as well. Now, the stacks aren't that important in terms of how you acquire them, because you can acquire them pretty easily with the shotgun, but it's also a nice thing to have. The next item on our list is the 2 Faces Persuader. Now, the 2 Faces Persuader is incredibly useful for a couple of things. It's going to guarantee pretty much that we get a grenade because of its villain synergy. If we look at the villain synergy here, harvesting enemies now has a 100% chance of dropping a grenade, and also increases grenade damage by 100% for 20 seconds. Now, we're actually not going to be taking advantage of the grenade damage buff here, but we are going to be taking advantage of the fact that it's going to be dropping grenades. So the grenade we selected is the Black Mass target priority here. Your grenade does no damage and instead causes enemies hit to get launched into the air in slow motion, take 200% more damage for 30 seconds, and become targeted by Venom Frenzy by everyone within 200 meters. This is the reason why the 2 Face Persuader's extra bonus damage we aren't going to be taking advantage of, because it's an extra 100% damage, but anybody hit with this is going to get an extra 200% more damage. So it actually works out very well, and it's extremely effective for taking out enemies on the crystals, because you can shoot them up into the air and just shoot the crystal and don't even have to kill the enemies. The infamy set shield we've gone for here is the tier 3. This also has an ability where there are 4 or more crazed enemies around you within 20 meters of you, you deal 100% more damage and take 50% less damage. Incredibly effective for the beacon mission, and of course everybody's being crazed by your traversal attack, so that works very well. Now the traversal mod that we are going for here, a lot of the time I spent using an item called the touchdown, but I actually switched to the hat trick here. Now the hat trick, in each enemy hit by speed to surprise increases a combo build up by 100% for 15 seconds. This means that a single traversal attack can get you like halfway up your combo bar, or even all the way up your combo bar if you're getting kills. This is extremely important if they're activated our additional damage as well as our damage reduction. So this is very, very important, and as soon as I switched this, I started doing a hell of a lot more damage. The final tier 3 set that we've got here is the Titan's Tolerance. Nothing really to talk about here other than I've rolled everything for grenade damage here, which I will probably end up rolling away now that I've switched to the Black Mass target priority. The final gear item here, Lucky Charm, is the Death Proof. This gives us a bit of survivability. We are a glass cannon here. We are right in the mix, and Boomerang doesn't have any upon death save yourself mechanics, so he needs this in order to stay alive. There is some potential for us to swap a couple of items out and maybe get some immunity here, but I think overall this is the balance, and it will definitely get you up to mastery level 50. So in terms of the playstyle, it's very, very simple. We're going to be picking on an enemy to start with in order to get our stacks up for our Bane's Fury, and then once we've got that up, we're going to shield harvest an enemy, kill a few enemies, get our traversal attack going, and then go. When we're in the middle of enemies, we're going to be throwing our grenades down quite often, sending those guys up into the air, giving them the debuff with a stack deck, and then using the traversal attack to kill the enemies. We do have Suicide Strike stuff available, and we can use the Squad Ultimate to slow things down. The stack deck is incredibly effective at shield harvesting enemies, so make sure you are definitely using that, because you are debuffing them, making them shield harvestable, and then hitting them for huge numbers. In terms of the big enemies, these are even easier to kill, because the stack deck pellets all pretty much hit them, and then it's just about wearing them down. Of course, you're not going to one-bomb these enemies as they have like over 200 million health, but you can hit these guys. I think we hit about 42 million with Boomerang on a shield harvest on one of the events, so you definitely can work it down. Just on a side note, make sure your squad is using crazed enemy weapons and not anything else. Take all the Black Mass bullet storms off, because they will set enemies on fire, reducing the amount of crazed on the field and therefore reducing your damage. Guys, that's it for today's video. If you have enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel, or join me over on stream as I stream 6 times a week, and otherwise I'll catch you on the flip.